What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon. MLB DFS video. It is Sunday. It is August 20th, and we are back with a Sunday slate. We're going to break it down. If you've never been here before, we go through all of the pitching. We go through all of the bats. We check it out. So if you've never been here before, welcome. You're in for a treat. Hit that subscribe button if you have not already. We will be doing these every day. We will be bringing you NFL content. We will be bringing you content all the time. So our MMA content from yesterday, we didn't have a video, but we did have on the website, FTA. You can check it out, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. The lineup's both cashed, Fanduel and DraftKings. If you want, you can go check out FTA Plus, $24.99 for a month, or you can use the promo code NFLVIP, get the yearly pass, normally $199, get it for $99 right now, today. Go check it out. So, big shout out to everyone who has supported the channel for, just by watching ads, by signing up to FTA Plus. We've had people send us super thanks here on YouTube, donations. We have our CashApp here, and we also have a Venmo and PayPal if you guys are interested. A big way to do it, just click the ads on the videos. Go to the website, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Click on the ads on the website as well. Every little bit helps. So big shout out to all of you guys. It's been awesome. We have a Sunday. We have a different little. We have a couple of games that are missing because of they were moved up from today to yesterday due to the hurricane coming through. So it's a smaller Sunday slate than we're normally used to, but we're here. Big thing about Sundays, normally you can kind of see that catchers usually rest on Sundays a little bit more, so that's definitely something to look at. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the pitching and the batting. We're going to look at DraftKings, we're going to look at their pricing, we're going to look at their previous games and stuff like that. Towards the end of the video, we actually do simulations through throughout the day. So normally when we do our stuff, MLB DFS projections, we do 10,000 simulations on the website, and we throw those projections out there through right about an hour before the main slate locks. So the main slate locks today at noon or 1 Eastern. So it's going to be a little bit earlier today, but we'll have those towards the end of the video. We'll do 2,000 in the video, and if you go check out the website before lineups lock, there'll be 10,000 there. So if you're new to the channel, anytime a video gets at least 50 likes, you leave a comment and you are a subscriber, you have a chance to win a free week of DFS content. If a video gets 100 likes, do the same thing. You have a chance to win a free month. 125 likes, a chance to win a free year, and 150 likes, a chance to win a lifetime pass. So we had Mr. Hillbilly win 2 days in a row. He's already a subscriber to the website. He wants to pay it forward. So there are going to be 2 people that win today. There are going to be 2 people, so we're going to check out who the 2 people that are going to win the free week are. The first one is David Durlam. Congratulations. David has won multiple times. Same thing. Mr. Hillbilly has won multiple times, and he paid it forward. So you can win every single day. You can win multiple weeks in a row. You can win multiple months. You could win a couple of year passes too. So that is the first one. So all you got to do is get a hold of me, dfshelp1@gmail.com, or hit me up on Twitter @advisors_team. And the next winner is Michael Swick. Congratulations. Michael's won in the past before, so that's as easy as it is, guys. All you have to do, like this video, be a subscriber, and leave a comment of some sort to be into the running. So congratulations. Let's jump right into it. So the first game, we got the Mariners at the Astros. You got the Mariners facing Hunter Brown. They faced, if you watched yesterday's video, and most of you do, most of you watch every day, which is awesome. A good way to do it, hit the bell notification so you guys know when these videos go out so you can help. You can check it out. But we used our information yesterday saying that I think Framber Valdez was too expensive. The Mariners have been on fire lately, and that's exactly what happened. He went 5 innings, 6 earned runs, 10 hits, 5 Ks. Got absolutely demolished. The Mariners went up 10-13 They won 10-3. Julio Franco's absolutely on fire right now. I think he has 17 or 18 hits in his last 4 games, which makes no sense to me. It's a record, but we're looking at these. So you got Emerson Hancock versus Hunter Brown. Hancock's never faced them before. This should be his 3rd start. I think it's his 3rd start. We'll look at it. He did not do too well his last start. We did suggest him. So that's the difference between us and other DFS providers. I'm going to tell you when I'm wrong. I was right about Framber yesterday. I was wrong about Emerson, his last start. You got Hunter Brown, who's really not faced the Mariners. The Mariners are just on fire right now. So it's really hard to know if I want to take him. So you got Emerson Hancock. Yeah, you can see. This will be his 3rd start. His first start against San Diego, he did okay. 12.3 fantasy points, but at 4,000, that's pretty good. He's now 5,500. He did not do good against Kansas City. So these numbers are going to be skewed. He's on the road. He's had 1 start on the road. That was in Kansas City. So not much there. At 5,500, a tournament option I'm okay with just because the Astros have never seen him before. But yeah, he did get lit up by the Royals, which it's the Royals. At 5,500, I'm okay with at tournaments, though, for sure. Am I going to have a lot of exposure to him? No, I'm not going to have a lot of exposure to him. Then we got Hunter Brown. I don't know what to do here. We'll look at his numbers. Game logs, not coming off a good game against Miami, not coming off a good game against Baltimore. Splits-wise, he's faced Seattle once this year. 3 innings pitched, 5 earned runs. So he's already gotten lit up by Seattle. I think on paper, if people aren't watching our videos and they're just looking at, it's the Astros versus the Mariners, take Hunter Brown, they could be wrong. He's been hit by Seattle this year already. Gave up 8. He did have 8 strikeouts in that game, though. 15 ERA, 6.2 fantasy points. That's not enough. Seattle's been heating up right now. Whether or not they're going to continue this run, we'll see. I'm probably avoiding Hunter Brown. If I'm looking at this, I'll have Emerson in tournaments. I'm going to avoid Brown. The Mariners' bats have been just absolutely on fire right now. So we can look at the Mariners' bats. If you want to see the bats who have success against righties or lefties, go to FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, MLB, and then batter splits, absolutely free. You can then sort it by the team against a left-handed pitcher or the team against a right-handed pitcher, and then you can go through that list. So we're going to go through, like I said, Julio has been absolutely on fire. He's got a ton of red there. Brian O'Keefe would be a very, very, very cheap option if he's even starting. We can see, let's see. Game log wise, he's played 1 game on the 17th, so he's probably not even going to play. Yeah, he probably won't even play. But again, it's Sunday for catchers, so if he happens to play, he would be a cheap option that you could look at. Suarez, I would look at a little bit. Teoscar Hernandez, I would look at a little bit. Cal Raleigh, if he starts, I love me some big dumper here. Maybe a little bit of Josh Rojas or Caballero, I would look at. If you're not going with Emerson and you are going with Houston, Jordan obviously would be the top of your list. Diaz is an option there if he starts. Kyle Tucker was questionable yesterday. Let's see. Or he's day-to-day, I should say. So he must have like the flu or something like that. So he's not injured. Must have the flu. Did sit yesterday. Hasn't played since the 16th. But yeah, 21 fantasy points there. He's back-to-back games with home runs. Wouldn't be surprised. He should be in today. If he is in today, I would definitely be using Kyle Tucker against Hancock. John Singleton for tournaments. Chas McCormick, I don't mind. Bregman had a home run yesterday. I don't mind him. Altuve, I don't mind. Those would probably be the plays that I'd use in this game. But I will have a little bit of exposure to Hancock for tournaments. I won't with Hunter Brown. Junis versus Fried. Giants at the Braves. I'm not looking at Junis at all. Obviously looking at the Braves. We don't really need to cover this game. You're looking at Max Fried. We'll cover the pitching, I guess. Jake Junis is here against Atlanta. Game logs. Had a really good game against Tampa Bay. Against his old team. Only went 4 innings, though. But he had 7 Ks. If he could replicate that, he would be okay. But he's not going deep into games. He's an opener, basically. I'm scared about that. Splits-wise, 2 games started. He's on the road. He hasn't pitched a game on the road that he started because he's an opener now. not good. Probably avoiding this. I'm looking at Braves bats, and I don't need to tell you which Braves bats to look at. Look at the entire lineup. The entire lineup is what you're looking at. It doesn't matter. Eddie Rosario, Olsen, Acuna, Austin Riley. It doesn't matter. Just find the Braves lineup that you can build around, or make multiple ones. So, like, if you were to go to Emerson Hancock, because he is so cheap, you would be able to afford most of the Braves bats in a tournament. But yeah, Braves are probably my number one stack today, or close to number one. We don't really need to jump into it. Max Fried, if you want to look at him, he's up here at 9,900 game logs. Didn't do bad against the Yankees, but 12.1 fantasy points isn't enough. Didn't do good against Pittsburgh. Against the Cubs, he had a really good game. So he's made 3 starts since the IL. This will be 4. He hasn't faced San Francisco this year. I would love this game a little bit more if it was in San Francisco, but it's not. I will use Max Fried, but there are just other pitching options that I like. I'd rather use the Braves bats in this game. And we aren't even looking at weather. Let's see. We should be good with weather today. There could be something, but I don't think so. You got the Red Sox at the Yankees. Josh Winchowski versus Clark Schmidt. And I said yesterday the Yankees were playing bad. Garrett Cole was too expensive for my tastes. He got lit up. Cy Young candidate got lit up there. I can't get a read on this. The Red Sox aren't a good team, but the Yankees are worse. Winchowski versus Clark Schmidt. See if we can find. Can we not? Is he not on here? Okay. That mustache is absolutely disgusting. Okay, so his last game, he did get lit up against Washington. 0.2 innings, 3 earned runs, no strikeouts, minus 6.9. Had a 40.5 ERA. Whether or not, the Yankees should be, he's an opener. If they can jump on him early and get the runs for him, we'll see. But the Yankees have been so bad. So he's an opener. You're not going to use him at all. Clark Schmidt, he's been serviceable as a real life pitcher, except his last start. His last start against it's Atlanta, so that's not much. 2.1 innings, 8 earned runs. Against the White Sox, he had a really good start. 5.1 innings, 7 Ks, 24.4. Houston, okay, but he's not getting a ton of fantasy points. So looking at this, he's more of a real-life okay pitcher than DFS pitcher. Probably just looking at bats in this one. Depending on who comes in for the Red Sox to pitch, the Yankees just aren't playing good baseball right now. Aaron Judge. So Devers, while I did say he would be one of my home run picks yesterday, while it didn't come against Cole, he did hit a home run, I believe, in the 9th inning yesterday's game. So he actually came through with a home run, just not against who I thought it would. I would probably be taking all of the Boston bats. Tristan Casas, Devers, Duran, Connor Wong I would look at. Yoshida I would look at. Verdugo. Pablo Reyes would be a cheaper option. I think I'm going to avoid Trevor Story just because I don't believe he's done much since coming back. Let me double check real quick. We've used him, so when we've stacked Boston recently, we've used Trevor Story in that said stack. And yeah, he, on August 13th, when he came, so August 13th, he went 4 for 4 with 2 stolen bases. He hasn't had a hit since August 14th. And he's played 4 games since then. He didn't play yesterday. He's not doing much right now. So probably means he'll dominate today. But I'm probably avoiding Story. I'm probably avoiding Reese McGuire. I'm looking at the top bats that I talked about. Yankees wise, Judge has hit back-to-back home runs. I don't know. This team just on paper terrible. I would look at Judge, maybe LeMahieu, Torres, IKF. That's basically it. Maybe Volpe. That's all I want. That's all I want in this game right now. I'm probably avoiding both pitchers. Probably looking at Red Sox bats, not looking at the Yankees. The Yankees have lost now 7 or 8 in a row. They're bad. They're 15.5 games out of first. Don't know why they didn't sell. Cashman's an idiot. Probably should have sold. But yeah, that's where we're at. Not using him. He's an opener. Not using him because he's not a really good DFS player. I would use the bats in this one. Tigers at the Guardians, Eduardo Rodriguez versus Logan Allen, battle of the lefties. Rodriguez has seen 65 plate appearances, so we kind of, when we're looking at like plate appearances to get a feel for a pitcher, 60 plus is what you're kind of looking at. And he's had success in that, 206 batting average, 27.7 versus Logan Allen. So we'll look at this. He is the second highest priced pitcher. Game logs, not a good game against Boston. His old team against Boston, went 5 innings there. Good game against Minnesota. Okay game against Pittsburgh. He's now 10,400. He's faced Cleveland twice this year. 15 innings pitched, 8 hits allowed, no earned runs, 18 Ks. Could be in store for a good game. I don't mind Edward. I don't mind him at all. He is expensive though, 10,400. If I'm paying up there, I'm probably paying up for Scherzer. But if you want to save a little bit of money, you could look at Rodriguez here, just a little bit. Then, if you want to look at Logan Allen, it's right here. Game logs, had a really good game against Cincy. His last start, we did use him. It was in Cincy, and I was a little bit scared about that because Great American Small Park, but came through. 6 innings pitched, 7 Ks, 27.3. Against Toronto, not so good. Against the White Sox, an okay game. He's 8,800 now, so he's a little bit of expensive. It is Detroit. They are one of the worst teams, but they've been hitting lately when we've used them. So if you're not going with either of these pitchers and you want to look at bats, we can look at that real quick. Spencer Torkelson against lefty, I'll take. Riley Green, I would take. Jake Rogers. Kerry Carpenter had a home run yesterday. I'm okay with that. Those would probably be the bats that I'd use in this game. And then if you look at the Guardians, I think Ramirez is still suspended. No. Wait. Oh, so he's started his suspension last week. So he's good. Jose Ramirez is good. Didn't do anything yesterday in 5 at-bats, 0 for 5. 2 for 8 on the 18th when they had a doubleheader. So he's suspended. He needs to come back from his suspension and hit. So he is in. So he would be an option, obviously. He'd be an option there. Laureano against the lefty, but I don't trust him enough. Calhoun a little bit, but yeah, there's not a ton of options that I like for Cleveland. So I'm looking more at Detroit. I'm looking more at Edward Rodriguez and then a little bit of these bats, maybe. But I don't mind either pitcher. It's just I don't trust the Cleveland bats here. So Logan Allen's 8,800. I don't mind him against Detroit. But Detroit's been hitting, so that's something definitely to look at. Next game, Blue Jays at the Reds. You got Ryu versus Hunter Green. Hunter Green coming off the IL. Let's look at Ryu first. Ryu coming here, 2.57 ERA. Only pitched 3 times this year. This will be his 4th start. Pretty good start against the Cubs. 5 innings, 3 Ks, no earned runs. He's only going to go about 5 innings, though. And this is in this ballpark where home runs are aplenty. I'm probably avoiding him because I just don't trust him enough. There are other options I'd rather pay for today. Then Hunter Green's coming off the IL. Hasn't pitched since June 17th. Been over 2 months since he's pitched. 6 innings in that game. Comes in with a 3.93 ERA. Let's see. Yeah, so it's looking like he's not going to be on a pitch count. He's had 4 starts in the minors. He's been pretty good. Toronto does struggle against righties. At 9,000, though, that's pretty heavy. I'll have some exposure to Hunter Green. At 9,000, probably look at Hunter Green a little bit more than I would look at Hunter Brown at that same price range. I would look at Hunter Green there. If you're going with bats and not pitching, we can look at the bats in this game. But again, Toronto struck out against righties quite a bit this year. If you want to go against that trend, Chapman is a good option. Guerrero is a good option. Is Bo Bichette back? I know he must be back because they DFA'd. Yeah, so he's back. Yesterday was his first game, went 1 for 5 with an RBI. So Bo Bichette's back. They ended up DFAing DeYoung, so he's off of there. You could be using, maybe look at Brandon Belt. That's probably it. I would use these three if you're not going with Hunter Green, but I think I'm going to go with Hunter Green a little bit. If we're not going with Ryu, you want to look at Ellie De La Cruz, I'm okay with. Joey Votto against the lefty, I'm okay with. I don't love. Christian Encarnacion Strand, I'll look at. Will Benson, Matt McClain, Spencer Steer, I'm okay. Stuart Fairchild, if he's up at the top of the list, I'll look at that as well. But looking at this game, probably avoiding him. I'll have a little bit of a Hunter Green, and then I'll look at some of the bats for the Reds. Pirates at the Twins, you got Ryan Barucki versus Dallas Keuchel. Barucchi's, I used to be a bullpen guy. Let's see if he still is. I'm assuming he's an opener because every team loves to do stupid openers. Game logs, 1 inning. Yeah, so he's an opener. You're not looking at him. Lefty here, used to be with the Rays. But yeah, 4.07 ERA as a bullpen guy. Not looking at that. Then we've got Dallas Keuchel, which is not a good option either. At least he's still up on the team, though, I guess. Got roughed up by the Phillies his last start. Yeah, he's had 2 starts. Phillies, 1.2 innings, 6 earned runs. That's what you probably expect. 6 runs and less than 2 innings. Minus 13.7. Don't be surprised if he gets lit up here. Then he's out, and he'll be by himself on the couch again. So yeah, I'm not using either pitcher here. I'd rather use the bats in this game. So we'll look at the bats here. So it's a battle of the lefties to start. Don't know who the Pirates will bring in, but Brian Hayes against Keuchel, wouldn't be surprised. Jack Sawinski, Brian Reynolds, I like. Kutch, I don't mind. Connor Joe, don't be surprised if Connor Joe hits a home run here. It just feels like one of those. That's my gut says Connor Joe has a good day if he starts. If you're not using, you won't be using Barucki, but if you're using this, Max Kepler I'm okay with. Donovan Solano, Ryan Jeffers against the lefty, but I don't know how many lefties will actually come out today. Carlos Correa, Edward Julian, I'll look at. Jorge Polanco, I would look at as well. Maybe a little bit of Michael Taylor. But yeah, I'm avoiding these pitchers. You should avoid these pitchers too. He's probably going to get lit up again and then be DFA'd after this game. He's going to go 1 inning. Could he go 1 inning, strike out the side, or go 2 innings, strike out 6? And if he could go 2 innings, strike out all 6, he would have really good numbers. But I don't think that's going to happen. Mets at the Cardinals. Mets just put up a ton of runs yesterday. You got Carrasco versus Dakota Hudson. Carrasco here, game logs. It's not been good. Against Pittsburgh, 3 innings. So he's not going deep into games. Went 2 earned runs. Had 88 pitches in 3 innings. That's a ridiculous amount of pitches. I don't even know how that's physically possible. He's like loading the bases up, getting foul balls, and then striking out the side with foul balls all the time. I don't know the game log. You guys might know. That's a ton of pitches for 3 innings. He's not going deep into games. I'm a little bit scared about using him there. I'm probably not using him. Splits-wise, he's faced St. Louis once this year. 3 innings pitched, 5 earned runs, 6 runs total, 2 home runs. Did this come in St. Louis or did this come? Yeah, that came at home in a pitcher's park. So yeah, I'm not using Carrasco here. And then Dakota Hudson, where are you at? There he is. We used him in this start. 6.2 innings out of him, 16.8. That's exactly what the kind of you need at 5,800. Now he's 6,800, so he's still, that would be perfect. You want at least like 2 times fantasy points the amount of salary. So you're looking at, 13 to 14 fantasy points, 15 on a good day. You'd be pretty good there. Splits-wise, he hasn't faced the Mets right now. They did put up a ton of runs yesterday. I think people might see that. I would use Hudson as a tournament option. At 6,800, I'm okay with. He's pitching at home. He's started 3 games there. He's got a 4.0 ERA. Not the best, but for tournaments on a Sunday like this with less games, I'm okay with using Hudson there. But if you're not using either of these guys, you want to look at the bats. Pete Alonso had a monster shot yesterday. I would look at Brandon Nimmo. I would look at Lindor. Vogelbach is strictly a tournament option. DJ Stewart, tournament option. Alvarez I'm okay with. Pete Alonso, both I'm okay with. Those would be the bats I'd probably use for the Mets. For the Cardinals, just depends on who's out there. Again, it's a Sunday, so wouldn't be surprised if Wilson Contreras sits, but I would look at him. I would look at Goldschmidt. I would look at Walker. Furman is a tournament option. Burleson's a tournament option. I'm okay with Tyler O'Neill as well. Andrew Kisner, if Wilson is out, I'm completely okay with. He can hold his own. Okay with Edman and Arenado. Mason Wynn. Maybe a little bit of Taylor Motter. You got to get crazy on this kind of day. This is going to be I bet you're going to see a tournament lineup could take down with some players that you might not think of. But this is one where you got to watch the starting lineups coming out on a Sunday. So look at these guys. Probably not using either pitcher. Maybe Hudson for tournaments, but I'm definitely not using Carrasco. Then you get the Royals at the Cubs. You got Jordan Lyles versus Kyle Hendricks. You guys know my distaste for Kyle Hendricks overall. Looking at Jordan Lyles against the Cubs, game logs, not a good game against Seattle in 5 innings, minus 0.8. Had a really good game at Boston, which makes no sense. Not a good game against Philly, an okay game against Minnesota, not a good game against the Yankees. Splits-wise, he hasn't faced the Cubs this year. It's in Chicago, the Windy City. Probably avoiding him. On the road in 12 starts, 7.19 ERA. So load up on the Cubbies, I believe. Then we can look at Kyle Hendricks here. Game logs, 10.1 against the White Sox, 6 innings, 3 earned runs. Not enough here at that price. He's 7,900 now against Kansas City. They've been hitting pretty well. Probably avoiding him as well. Probably looking at the bats in this one. So we will cover the bats here. MJ Melendez I'm okay with. Michael Garcia. Bobby Witt Jr. has been on fire this year. I would look at him. I would say Salvador Perez. He's a catcher. They mostly sit today, but he's been playing first base too. He could be an option. Michael Massey is an option. Kyle Isbell should go very under-owned if he plays. I would look at him. Freddie Fermin, if he is catching today, I don't mind Freddie Fermin. That'd probably be it on that side. And then if we look at the Cubs bats, and you guys know, Patrick Wisdom's a boomer bust. He's a home run hitter. So if you don't get him in there for a home run, he's not probably going to do much. I would look at Morel. I would look at Suzuki. I'm okay with Dansby Swanson. Ian Happ. Candelario hasn't done much since coming to the Cubs again, but I would look at him. I would look at Mike Tauchman if he's leading off per usual. And Cody Bellinger. Bellinger I think he had 2 home runs yesterday. I would look at Bellinger for sure. Resurgent season is in full effect, but I'm not using either pitcher. I would rather take a stack of the Cubs and then mix and match with the Royals bats if you're doing that. Brewers at the Rangers, Adrian Hauser versus Scherzer. I'm taking Scherzer against the Brewers and then the Rangers bats. We don't even need to look at the bats. I'm looking at Simeon, Seager, Nate Lowe, Jonah Heim, Adolis Garcia. It just depends on what lineup comes out. I'm taking, we're not even going to cover all of it, but I'm taking Scherzer. He's the most expensive pitcher. Really good game against the Angels, but that's the Angels. He's faced Milwaukee twice this year. He's actually gotten hit by Milwaukee pretty hard. 11.1 innings, 7 earned runs, 4 home runs. So you know what? I'll have a little bit of exposure to Scherzer, but he has been hit up by Milwaukee hard. Let's see game logs. If they've been at home or if they were in Milwaukee. One was at Milwaukee. Am I not seeing it? Where's the other one? What? April 4th, gave up 5 earned runs. Why am I not seeing it? It says he's faced him twice. That's a lie. Anyway, he's been hit pretty hard by them. But he's been pitching well lately. So I will have some exposure to Scherzer. Probably not as much as I thought I would after you dig into the numbers. But I will have the Texas bats. If you are going to go with Milwaukee bats against him, William Contreras, Christian Yelich, Willie Adames are the ones that I would look at. Maybe Sal Frelick a little bit too, but that's basically it there. But it should be hot and humid here. The ball will fly out of there. I'm taking a Texas stack against Hauser. White Sox at the Rockies. I'm not looking at pitching in this one because I'm looking at bats. I don't want anything to do with pitching because this is Colorado. You got Dylan Cease versus Flexen. Seen Cease pitch against the Yankees a few weeks ago. He leaves the ball up a lot. He's got a knuckle curve, and when that's off, it's really high. The bats could be in store for a good game here. Let's take a look real quick. White Sox side, Luis Robert, I would look at. Eloy Jimenez, I would look at against Chris Flexen. I would look at Moncada probably. Andrew Vaughn, maybe. Let's see. I was going to say Oscar Colas. He's still up on the team. Game logs. Hasn't done much. Be a tournament option only. Same thing with Grandal will be tournament. Benintendi would be tournament too. If you're not going with Cease, I would look at the Rockies. Nolan Jones. Ryan McMahon has been on fire for us. Brendan Rodgers I would look at. Tovar I'm okay with. Brenton Doyle. Elias Diaz. Montero and Charlie Blackmon. I think Montero, Diaz, and Tovar are more tournament options, but if you can afford them, I would look at some Rockies bats in Colorado here. Don't be surprised if we see a high-scoring game yet again. I'm not using either pitcher. And then we've got Orioles at the Athletics. You've got Kyle Bradish versus J.P. Sears. I just kind of want to check something out real quick. I was trying to see yesterday's game because I loved me some Cole Irvin yesterday. He went 5 innings, 3 Ks. So he only went 5 innings but gave up 1 earned run. Had a pretty good game. Kyle Bradish here. It's in Oakland against J.P. Sears. I would be looking at Kyle Bradish, and then I'd be looking at Baltimore bats over Oakland. But trying to find Kyle Bradish here. Or is this game not even on this main slate? Oh, it's not even on. It's on this slate. Okay, that would make sense. So there are only 2 games on this main slate here that we can play. Kyle Bradish going against Oakland. Game logs. Pretty good game log here at his price. He is 8,900. The strikeouts are there. 5 to 7 we're looking at. Splits-wise, hasn't faced Oakland this year. I'm still looking at Kyle Bradish. Away games, he is worse on the road, but this is a fantastic pitcher's park. So I would look at him. And then J.P. Sears against Baltimore. 4.20 ERA. Nice. Splits-wise, he's faced Baltimore once this year. 5 innings, 3 earned runs. Probably not using him. Probably using at Baltimore bats. So looking at this. Baltimore bats that we're looking at. So I'm avoiding Oakland bats completely. I'm looking at Bradish. I do like Gunnar Henderson here. Ryan O'Hearn, probably not. I would look at Mountcastle. I would look at Santander, who is a switch hitter. I would look at Adley Rushman, who's a switch hitter. I would look at maybe a little bit of Cedric Mullins, Austin Hayes. But yeah, I would avoid Sears. I would look at Bradish, and I would look at Baltimore bats. And we can't even play this game. This is the single game only, Zach Wheeler versus Trevor Williams. So let's just look at the bats in this one. So looking at the bats here, Schwarber, I mean, he hits well, but he's batting like one. His numbers are absolutely ridiculous. So Schwarber's numbers, his stats for the year, he has 32 home runs. But he's batting 183, which is unbelievably bad. He had 2 home runs on August 18th. It's crazy. He's ranked like so far down for batting average, but he's ranked so far up for home runs. And his on base, it's really weird. He's more of a tournament option, boom or bust, but don't be surprised if he hits a home run in prime time on ESPN tonight. Bryce Harper, I'm okay with. Trey Turner, Alec Boehm, Real Muto. Castellanos, Bryson Stott, I would look at. Washington bats, Lane Thomas. there's not a ton that I like. Stone Garrett a little bit, Lane Thomas, Ruiz. That's basically it here. That's basically it, yeah. So that is the breakdown. It is a smaller Sunday slate because we had a bunch of games moved up yesterday for the weather. We will be back for Monday, but we are going to go over, like I said, we've simulated 2,000 times so far. We're going to give you the top 10 bats and the top 10 pitchers according to 2,000 simulations. By the time you watch this video, I've probably already posted the 10,000 simulations. It could have changed a little bit, but it might have stayed the same. So this is what we've got for the top 10 bats. Luis Robert versus Chris Flexen. Bobby Witt Jr. versus Kyle Hendricks. Kyle Schwarber versus Trevor Williams. Ronald Acuna Jr. versus Jake Junis. Jose Ramirez versus Eduardo Rodriguez. Elvis Andrus versus Chris Flexen. JT Realmuto versus Trevor Williams. Ryan McMahon and Nolan Jones versus Dylan Cease. And Riley Green versus Logan Allen. So the top bats or pitchers that it likes is Max Scherzer versus Milwaukee. Max Fried versus San Francisco. Kyle Bradish versus Oakland. Hunter Green off the IL versus Toronto. Hunter Brown versus Seattle. I'm probably avoiding Hunter Brown, though. I'm probably looking at Seattle bats just the way they've been. Zach Wheeler versus Washington. Eduardo Rodriguez versus Cleveland. Kyle Hendricks versus KC. I'm probably avoiding him. Logan Allen versus Detroit. Emerson Hancock versus Houston. And it does have Clark Schmidt versus Boston. I don't know if I'll use him, but that is the top 10 pitchers. That are the top 10 bats on the slate. We've gone through it all. If you like the video, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already. Good luck on this slate. And like I said, we will be back tomorrow. Let's bring home some bacon, guys. Peace!